I said, suppose you're a modern-day pilgrim.
You're living in any house as long as you live in a house. I still live in a house, though.
If you came to this neighborhood, if you were a pioneer in this neighborhood, where would you want to live?
In a house.
Where?
Best place like to live in. I would like to live in that house over there.
Yeah. That one over there?
Castle.
Mm-hmm. It looks like a castle. Do you know anybody who lives in that house? Who lives there?
No.
Do you know?
Jewish.
Jewish people live in that house?
Yeah.
You want to go over there and look at it? Let's see what it's like?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Every morning when school is in session, 25-year-old Peggy Goric leaves her home in Manhattan's Greenwich Village and heads for her school in Brooklyn. Because Peggy teaches in a special program, her day does not begin until 11 a.m. and does not end until 5. Peggy's school is in the Williamsburg section of Brooklyn. This was once a stable area, but it declined when little was done to maintain or improve it. People of many races and backgrounds crowded into the neighborhood because it was the only place they could afford. Many of the children in this area have never crossed the bridge to Manhattan. They live in a private world, and the problems of this world are carried by the children to the school, Public School 16 on Wilson Street. In PS 16, Peggy works in a special program which is designed to enrich the regular classroom work. It is called the All-Day Neighborhood School Program.
Who thinks they can come up to the map?
Inside, classes are already in session. The children in this 5th grade class, taught by Cheryl Serper, are Peggy's special concern.
Detroit, where the French settlers settled. Oh, Group B, very good. Johnny, you want to try it?
Peggy's job is to assist the 5th grade teachers, including Cheryl. She does this by taking small groups of 8 or 10 from the class for an hour at a time. The children she will bring to her room are not problem children, but because of the world they live in, they hear less, learn less, and retain less. Peggy's job is to enrich their world.
Here's Detroit.
Good. Good, very good, John. Good. All right, I want someone to start reading. Who would like to start reading? Someone in Group B.
One of the greatest problems for a teacher is a crowded classroom. Since I work only with small groups, I can really get to know the children and understand them.
We fight the War of 1812.
Very often I'm amazed to find that these kids have had absolutely no background. I found out that they had never heard a nursery rhyme or had never been read a story when they were children. When people speak about how the children can't learn or won't learn, I don't know how they can expect them to if they just have nothing to relate it to, nothing in their own lives that's beautiful or imaginative. One of the things I can do is give them some of the experiences. I could never make up for what they didn't have. But I could help them to understand now by giving them something. Did you ever row in a boat?
Mm-hmm.
What are those things called?
A paddle and a rowboat. A thing like it's a rower.
It's called an oar, or oars. Does anybody know how to spell that?
Oars. O-R. O-R.
That's what it sounds like. Well, this kind of oar is spelled O-A-R. What other kind of oar do you know? What does it sound like?
An oar like an awning, like an awning.
What's an awning?
An awning is a curtain that they use in the stores to cover the windows.
John, is there a difference between awning and oar?
Yeah, the E.
The E? Is there a difference between awning and oar? Does it sound alike? Do you know what the word oar means? The word oar?
I used it, and when I was saying something to my sister, I'd tell her, like, do this for me or stay in the house.
Good. Yes?
You'll do it or I'll do it.
Very good. How is that oar spelled?
O-R.
O-R. That's right.
In the classroom, many of the problems these children bring to school remain hidden. But in this small setting, I feel I can begin to really see them as they are. Johnny is bright, verbal. He's a catalyst, but he's also aggressive and poses a threat to others. I want to channel his energies without frustrating
There's some
him.
dangerous things going on, very dangerous, like people getting married, like Elizabeth Taylor getting married, and she's getting divorced. People getting married for nothing. They all want to get divorced, but she made this excuse up. I don't know the name of the excuse.
She has a girl.
Shut up. She has this Eddie something, and she made this excuse up that she wants to divorce him and she doesn't like him.
Why do you think it's an excuse?
Because that don't sound like a right excuse.
Well, why do people get divorced?
Because they don't like their husbands anymore.
And that's what she said. That's what she said. Is that an excuse then?
Yeah, but what's the use getting married? She should have known before she got married.
Well, don't people ever make mistakes?
Yeah. But not grown-ups. They're not supposed to.
They're
They're
not
supposed to have more knowledge than we are.
Why do people get married, Johnny?
For love.
That was no marriage.
I'm very, very pleased when the children are eager to speak out. But I realize that although it's good for some of them, for others it creates a problem. And Huey is one of the children who is very shy and very much threatened by the others. And so I have to look for another solution to reach him. How about your class?
Well, they're okay, but either you do something or you're beaten up. And actually, I don't know what to do at this school. Last year, I almost flunked. Well, you see, here in New York, you have to be a tough guy. And I don't get it that much. I think it's worth being tough. Unless you were going to be a boxer or something, which I'm not. But I tried getting along with him.
Do you find you have things in common with them? Why not?
They're not like me.
How are you different?
Well, I'm interested in painting and stuff like that. I'm going to be an artist like my father.
You want to be an artist? In order to help the children learn, I feel I have to understand them as individuals. And very often, this isn't easy, because they're hiding so very much when they come to you. Angela?
What about our English man? He came from England, and he was going to...
Angela is a very bright girl. She was born with a cleft palate, and her speech is impaired. It doesn't stop her from talking, but it does create a problem for her. Her classmates torment and tease her. Why do you think you're going to school?
To learn.
To learn? Why is it important to learn?
You have to have a good education.
And what does that mean? Do you want a good education? Why?
When I grow up, I want to have a good job.
You want to have a good job? What do you want to do?
I want to be a nurse.
Do you? What do you have to do to become a nurse, Angela? Do you know? What?
You have to go to school.
Yes.
You have to go to high school.
Yes.
And you gotta go to college.
Mm-hmm.
And after college, you gotta get your diploma.
What do nurses do? Do you know what nurses do? What do they do?
They help the children in the hospital.
They help children. Do they help grown-ups too?
And the doctor.
And the doctor. Did you ever go to a hospital and see nurses there?
I went there 5 times.
5 times?
I had my 5th operation.
Where did they operate on you before?
In my throat.
In your throat? Did it help you? Yes? And you weren't the least bit scared, were you?
I was when I came back.
When you came back?
I couldn't talk.
And then what happened?
They gave me needle every day.
And then you were able to talk?
Not for a long time though.
Where did this song take place?
The folk song take place in the village isles to the new American settlers.
British. Say British.
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 Can you say British?
British.
It's a little hard with all that gum in your mouth, isn't it?
British.
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 Robert, will you get the globe, please?
Okay. Where did this song take place?
British.
Thank you. Now, where did we say the Pilgrims came from? Most of them, England. Can anybody find?
I think what I could give the children in group should or may have a profound effect on their lives. And the feeling of togetherness, the feeling of security, that if they make a mistake, there's nothing wrong with making mistakes. That's learning, and that's the greatest way to learn. We're fighting together for something which possibly they can never get anywhere else.
As I went up walking upon a fine day, I got all as the day passed away. I sat there amused, myself on the grass.
Well, I said, suppose you're a modern-day pilgrim.
You're living in any house as long as you live in a house.
I still live in a house, though. If you came to this neighborhood, if you were a pioneer in this neighborhood, where would you want to live?
In a house.
Where?
The best place like to live in.
I would like to live in that house over there.
Yeah.
That one over there?
Castle.
It looks like a castle. Do you know anybody who lives in that house? Who lives there? Do you know?
Jewish.
Jewish people live in that house?
Yeah.
You want to go over there and look at it? Let's see what it's like?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
The world these children live in is a complex, congested one.
What is this?
Their world is made up of many ethnic groups who don't speak the same language and don't understand each other. It's important for them to understand their world. And it's important for me to understand it, too.
Good for you. It's like a church, and Jewish people go to a synagogue for the same reason you go to a church, to pray. And it's called a synagogue. Come on, Linda.
I'm not giving that name. But if that would see the school I might be going to over there?
Yes. What kind of school is that going to be?
It's a junior high school.
It said on the paper
A
when we
nursery.
moved in, that's going to be a
Yeah.
nursery.
A nursery for the baby that's gonna move there.
I think the nursery is on the other side, isn't it?
That's right there.
It's over there?
That's a little room.
Right there,
It's a big long room.
Okay, your job is to find out about that. It's your neighborhood. And put
I
up a
should
little-
know. It came on the paper.
Yeah.
Well, find out again.
It came out in my head, too.
Okay. Well, what do you think, Pilgrims? Would you like to live in this neighborhood?
No.
Why not, Linda?
Too noisy.
The pressures their world brings to bear on the children are the pressures they bring with them to school. If school is to mean anything to these children, it must prepare them to stand on their own in this world. They have to learn to work on their own.
Of what they asked for his daughter. She gave him her hand and vowed to marry him if her father said yes. And he did. So Pocahontas was christened and named Rebecca.
I let Johnny and Huey work together even though I knew Johnny was hostile toward Huey. Sometimes I know I must close my eyes and ears and pretend not to hear or see anything. The children need a chance to work things out for themselves.
He said he was going to bring 6 bowls of soda.
Johnny, right at the house.
Don't touch my pen, you may poison it.
Too late, I already did.
Sometimes personal problems explode. This morning, Johnny and Robert had a fight. I felt that unless we dealt with it, I couldn't begin to teach.
See, you're starting with me, Robert.
He's what,
I'm knocking
Robert?
off your chair. You get wise with me. You call me a baby, I'll knock you right off that chair.
I'm not scared of you.
Yeah, you want to fight? Yeah.
You know you're going to bring your brother.
I don't have to bring my brother. I don't need my brother to fight my battles.
They were upstairs and he called them Cheap Charlie. So then he said, if you call me Cheap Charlie one more time, I'm going to smack you with this ruler across your face.
Yeah,
and he called them
did.
Cheap Charlie again and he smacked.
Well, Johnny, what do you want to do about this? Do you want to remain mad?
We're going to find that at 3.
Well, I'm asking you something. I'm asking you something. Do you want to remain mad? Do you think that's going to solve anything?
Yeah, every time he starts a fight up in class with me, and then at 3 o'clock he runs to Dr. Jemberg or Miss Leon.
Well, I'm asking you something. Johnny? Let Johnny answer. I'm asking him a question, Robert. Johnny, do you want to remain mad? Is that going to solve anything? You're the one who has to do the thing. The teacher can't do anything unless you're willing to do something too. Teacher can't get inside of your head and make you feel differently, can she? You're the one who has to feel differently. And you're the one who has to be willing to try. You remember you helped other people when they were in trouble and you wanted to. Do you remember that? Johnny? Do you remember? Well, what would you like us to do to help you? Nothing? I would feel very sad if you walked out of here feeling just as mad as you did when you walked in.
He's mad now.
Yes, I know he's mad now.
Very mad, too. He got a very bad temper when he's mad, and so do I.
Well, that's not helping, Angela. Would you like to stay here for the rest of the afternoon? Johnny, would you like to stay here to 3 o'clock? You can paint here if you want to, or draw. Nobody bother you.
You can have 5 o'clock.
And we'll all be keeping out of your way. I'd like to have you here, Johnny. Angela.
Angela is a girl who needs a great deal of understanding and a great deal of patience. Angela is very shy and very sweet, but sometimes she doesn't know how to cope with things, and so she just strikes out.
Since when do you young ladies fight? Since when? Linda?
She has a history of being in fights with a great many children. Not because she's aggressive, not because she's hostile necessarily, but just because she doesn't know how to defend herself. She doesn't really know what she's worth.
Angela Gordine said that she would like to get this straightened out about the fight that you had this morning. Do you want to sit down and talk it out? I think it would be a good idea, don't you think so? Let's see, are in class together. How did it start? How did it start? What was it about?
And Nanda tried to get smart with me. She told me shut up, and I said, everything that you say go back to you. So then she said, your mother, so I said, back to your mother.
And she came and hit me and taught me.
I told you leave alone by Mr. Fisher room, didn't I?
No, you were on the floor.
I know, and then I didn't go in Mr. Fisher room, right? And I went with Evelyn, right?
Yeah, then you started getting...
And then I said, if you want to pick on anybody, pick on me. Because she's not your size, right?
And then you start hitting me.
I know it.
You say, I'm not going to leave her alone.
You have to separate, Levy.
Okay, you have to separate.
Well, would you two like to make up, please? Angela and Gordine, would you like to shake hands like ladies and make up? Let me see it. Angela, look at somebody when you're making up. They're going to be friends for a long time now. Angela, let's try it again. Gordine, let's try it again. Now give her your whole hand. The whole hand. Oh, that's good. Oh. At 3 o'clock, the regular classes end.
Arthur, you'll meet me at the office.
Many of the children have working mothers and would go home to empty apartments. Others have no place to bring their friends. The all-day neighborhood schools have after-school clubs where these children can come and stay until 5 o'clock. My club is for 5th and 6th grade girls. I felt that coming to club would help Angela, and she already knew some of the girls.
Do you know Yvonne? You must know Yvonne. Oh, Yvonne's not here today. Pat. Do you know Pat? You don't? You know Haiti. Why don't you sit near Haiti?
I'm the Haiti thing.
Haiti, pull up a chair near you for Angela, please. Go ahead. Yes, she's visiting today.
I was anxious for Angela to find a creative outlet for her energies. She's a gifted child. If she can't find creative ways of expressing herself, I'm afraid she might do things that are damaging or destructive.
Why?
In the club, Angela, like the other children, would have a chance to express herself through painting, dance, and plays like Cinderella.
Remember that everything that happens right over here. Okay?
Why are you crying, little girl? Who are you? I'm Lindsay, your fairy godmother.
What do you want?
Why are you crying?
I don't got no gown to wear.
You shall have one. May I have this dance with you?
Yes, thank you.
Aren't you going to walk off with your princess? Okay, very good, girls. It was very good this time.
Angela was so pleased at club, yet only a few days later she would be involved in an incident that disturbed us all. A few days after Angela visited club, there was an incident in her classroom. Angela struck her teacher, Mrs. Serper. My first reaction was, oh, that poor child. Something else happened to her. And Angela has often said to me, everything always happens to me. I never do anything right. And I was really very upset for the child. I knew Angela would be punished. The thing to do is to try to make her understand herself and why she did it. Could you tell me, What happened again? I think we ought to discuss this with the children.
What happened was that Angela, at 3 o'clock, refused to get up out of his seat to go online. And it was a little after 3. It was about 10 after 3. And I said, Angela, let's go. It's time to go home. She just looked up, refused to answer. I said, Angela, I'm going to have to take you out of your seat. If you don't walk out by yourself, and then we can discuss it outside. No response. So what I had to do is I took the class and I lined them out outside, and I went back inside and I took Angela by her arms and I propelled her out the door. While I was doing this, Angela was scratching the palm of my hand and my watch broke. And, all right, she got outside. John had her coat and her books. And she came over to me and she hit me. And all the other children got excited right away. You know, Angela hit Mrs. Serpa. Angela pushed Mrs. Serpa. And at that time, I was sort of excited myself.
Is Angela in school this morning?
No, she's absent today. I guess she felt bad. Robert told me that when they finally took Angela home and they walked her home, which I complimented them on, that she said she was going to throw herself under a car. So, that's what happened.
Okay. In 1 month?
Yeah, she used to do Miss Battle.
Well, I want an idea from you, because I knew this group very, very closely. We were all working together for over a week, right? Mm-hmm. Way over a week. How do you feel about Angela? You feel sorry for her?
I think that it was Johnny and Robbie. They said that day that yesterday that she was going to kill herself in front of a car.
No, I don't believe it.
Why not?
Because she won't give up her life just like that.
But she'll try.
She'll try. Yeah, she'll try.
I mean, after I saw that, oh, brother, she'll do it.
I think she'll do it. You know.
I think what bothers her when everybody in the class keeps on calling her mumbles, and then she gets nervous, and then she goes like that.
Do you call her that, John?
They call her black. She wouldn't bother anybody, but when people start to bother her, then she would bother back, because she's good in school lots of times.
If these kids keep it up, you know what's going to happen to her?
What is that?
She's going to really get mad. I mean, when she's older, she will get real mad and probably hurt somebody really bad.
Maybe she wants so much attention because maybe in her house, let's say her mother, her father, somebody in part of her family isn't paying attention to her. Maybe she got a smaller brother, sister, and her mother got to pay more attention to the smaller one, so she feels like left out of the family.
Well, let's see. We said that Angela needs attention. We said that some people feel that if she gets so much attention that she'll always want more and more and more, and she'll never be satisfied.
She'll grow up like that.
And other people feel that we should give it to her. Do you think there's a limit? Do you think that she's the person we should give it all to? Well, what can we do about it?
Well, I was thinking, well, before tomorrow, we'll think some ideas over, and we'll come down here around 11:30.
No. That's your lunch hour, honey. I think you can be here at 12:15.
Yeah. Okay, then we'll come here at 12:15. Then I'll go back to class when we'll see if Angela's there tomorrow, and if she's not, then I'll talk to the whole class.
Okay.
That gotta be you.
You kids wouldn't do it.
I would.
Wanna make a bet?
I stand up a lot of the time to that class. Yes, speed play.
Yeah, down for a little while.
What they said is the class would make a committee, a girl committee and a boys committee. They all write ideas down and everything, and they pass them all on to Angela, and see if she likes them. And she gives them to the teacher, and if the teacher likes them, the teacher may write them in, so we write them over. No, because writing things, that ain't going to help her.
What's a better way than writing things?
Talking it over.
Okay, talking it over. And I have even a better way than that. Doing that. I think that if she feels that we care, it might help a great deal, too.
Then when she But day by day, she'll come home, she'll be gooder at the house, you know?
That's a wonderful idea. Are you going to go there now, John?
Yes.
No.
Go where? See what's going to happen.
Very good.
Lydia.
I'm very proud of all of you. I don't know, I'm kind of afraid. I don't know. What could we do?
I don't know. I tried very hard with Angela. And I like Angela, so it wasn't really hard to try. When she goes off like this, I just won't have her in the class with the other children.
I know it's impossible. I know it is. I'm not blaming you. I'm just looking for an answer. You know, if she's going to be in somebody else's class, she's going to go off in the same way, and there are going to be children in the room the same way.
I feel so much of it is not what happens in the class itself, it's what happens when she comes and brings everything from the home with her.
Sure.
And there's nothing you can do. Sometimes I get very upset with her. I'll say, Angela, please go into another room for a little while. She refuses to go, and she'll just you know, some children who will disturb the class, you give them some drawing paper and you sit them down, and they'll be able to calm down enough that way. She doesn't. She refuses. She won't look at the drawing paper or anything. There's nothing I can do with her when she's in the class.
The only thing I was thinking was that getting her out may be a solution for you. But what is the solution for her?
Hi.
Later that afternoon, Johnny came back to tell me about his visit to Angela's home.
Yeah.
And what did she say?
Yeah, I told her she's going to go to school. Since she was sorry to Miss Serpa, she said she'd come. Then I met Miss Serpa, and then she said that to tell her if she comes to go up to Miss Goric's to tell you.
Okay. Now, what did she seem like? Did she seem happy or sad, or did she want to talk to you?
She wanted to talk to me.
She did? Yeah? Did you stay for a while?
For 5 minutes, and I left.
And then you left. Were you happy to see her okay? Yeah, are you going to call for her tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a wonderful idea. I'll see you tomorrow.
I have to give it to Miss Serpa tomorrow.
The next day, Johnny called for Angela to take her to school.
Come on. Come on! Okay. Come on. Come on, come on. Wait a minute, Angela. Don't go so fast. You're going so fast. I was at your house yesterday. How come you didn't come? You to school. Yesterday? Yeah. They were waiting there. Your mother wants me and Robert to tell Miss Newman the whole story. Oh. Your mother? Tell what? The whole story that happened.
Before school that morning, Cheryl spoke to our principal, Mrs. Newman, about taking Angela back into class.
Yesterday. The day before yesterday, wasn't it?
Yes.
Mrs. Serpa, there's one thing I want to get straight before we go any further. You don't feel that you're in any physical danger from Angela, do you?
No.
You're quite sure about that?
Yes, I'm strongly serious.
Yes, I know that. I just wanted to make sure, because I don't really feel that there's any teacher that it would be better for Angela than you are.
I try to do a lot for Angela. I like Angela, but I just cannot have her back in my classroom. I feel that there are days when I try to teach and she disturbs the class constantly. I mean, not just when this time or the other few times when she came at me, but I'm talking about other days when, you know, without any physical violence, she'll just sit and disturb the classroom.
Of course you know, Mrs. Serpa, that we have many children like Angela. Every teacher has as many as 4 and 5 disturbed children in the class.
This is not the first time Angela ever had violence with a teacher.
I'm asking you, Mrs. Serpa, to think of your professional career and not to give up.
My whole attitude towards this is that it's the 4th time it happened, and that I just can't teach. with her there. At those times when she goes off, it leaves me very upset. I'm sure that Angela is very upset. And it upsets all the children.
This is the first time that it has come to my attention. This is the first time that we're really doing something about it, in terms of talking to Angela and in terms of talking to the class, because I understand that Mrs. Goric discussed this with the class. And that's why I'm asking you to give it one more chance, because this time is different. This time we'll make it different. You know you're going to see Mr. James, Angela's father, this afternoon. Yes. I'll be there, and Mrs. Feldman will be there, and Mrs. Goric, and Angela, and we'll talk things over together. And I think perhaps you'll find that there will be some effect.
Now what, assuming that I take Angela back into the classroom, what happens if she decides, again, not to go with the class?
This time, when it doesn't work, send for help. Don't be ashamed. You're beginning, you need help. We all need help when we're beginning.
I
think that you'll get a great deal of satisfaction out of knowing that you can overcome a difficulty instead of avoiding it.
What? Goody. Goody, then your mother's gonna goody you. You're not gonna hit me. So she will. Well, I got you. That's that come from my house. Okay, look. I broke her glass. Who? You broke her watch. I broke Mr. Surfer's watch, and you busted her coat. She got a nice watch now. Now she don't got that old scratchy one. Angela had a fight with your teacher. Why? I don't know. It was a fight. That's all I know. Get her. I'm getting mad at you.
Come on, Angela. I'm waiting for you. Let's go.
What?
Doctor.
Yes.
Thank you. That was very nice and almost very quiet, except some people weren't too quiet. Do you remember what we were talking about yesterday? We were talking about Angela, weren't we? We were all very concerned about you, Angela, and we wanted to help you very much. You do? What would you like to say?
Angela, we're gonna try.
Say it, you.
Helping.
Angela.
Mm-hmm. Come on. Don't you want to listen? Don't you want to listen, Angela?
No.
Why not? Angela?
No, she's not.
No.
What's that?
What?
Don't you want to listen? Well, won't you please listen? Thank you. You?
Angela, we've been trying to help you. I mean, we're going to try to help you.
Angela, do you think we like you and want to help you?
I don't know.
Well, what do you think? How do you feel? How do you feel coming back?
Yeah. Angela, we had a long talk yesterday about after what happened, breaking the teacher's watch.
And what did we decide?
We should help her.
We're going to try to help her.
And what else?
Let her feel a part of us. To let you be part of us and I heard part of you. Tell me what did
Very, very beautiful. We want you to feel a part of us. That's right. And that's what we were talking about. Does that make you happy to hear that? Does it? Okay. Well, let me ask you something. We were talking about the Pilgrims before this came up. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
And we said that the Pilgrims, when they came to America, they had a hard time getting along because they saw people here who were different from them. Isn't that right? Who did they see?
Indians.
They saw the Indians, that's right. And they didn't understand the Indians, and they didn't understand why the Indians did what they did. Isn't that right? Or was it important for them to understand why the Indians did what they did? Now, how does this tie in with Angela? In order to learn and in order to get along, it's important to understand people, isn't it? Do you think you're learning? Do you think it's important to do this?
Yes.
Why do you think so, Hugh?
Because in case there's somebody else like this, then we'll know what to do.
Okay. What are we doing that people did? Talking it over and trying to understand. And help. Angela, would you like to paint today? For the rest of us, remember what happened with Pocahontas? It's been a long time. What happened to her?
You got to paint?
Angela's father arrived later that afternoon. He had asked that we discuss the incident with Angela present.
We have to send for Mrs. Surfer, I'd like to say on this. Won't you sit down? Yes, and Angela.
Yes.
Let's sit down.
We got a good partner from...
I think we were all concerned that Angela wouldn't be hurt further, and that perhaps Mr. James would permit Angela to join the club.
Well, as the mother, no. I'm not taking a step over the mother. But still at the same time, I know what is best for Angela. What Angela should go into from what she wasn't going into. Angela may complain to you several times concerning the other children, teasing. Some of the time you pay attention, and some of the time you do not pay attention to Angela. Then when you do not pay Angela no attention, Angela just really feel like taking it out and revenge of the children by screaming out in the class. I do not want no one absolutely to meddle with Angela in the class. Because if Angela speak bad or speak good, it is not her fault. All the fault comes from Almighty God. Angela have 4 operations just to clear up that part. I work night and day to pay that operation that she have today, that she could speak to you or anyone here. It is not her fault why she born like that. It is not your fault or my fault. And if those little children that you have in your class down there, mostly Johnny say, one little fella down there, I forget his name now, and he is the ringleader, like the Keys Angel. But if I get to drop on him, I will shoot him. I don't want no one absolutely to molest Angela. If Angela must molest with anyone in the class, then they have a right to report to you or report to the principal. But if Angela doesn't interfere with them, I don't want no one at all in the class to molest with Angela. Angela is my child. Regard how she speaks and how she acts, my child. When Angela misbehaves to you or anyone over here, Butchie, Jeremiah, I give them a good spanking at home. I straighten them out and let them know that anyone at all that's above them, they're supposed to listen to. And I don't want nobody at all to do them no harm. Because anyone do them any harm, they're going to meet me wherever they go and wherever they start. And that those little children in your class, I don't want them to molest with Angela. No time, absolutely. And mostly that little boy that Johnny told me about, see? He is the ringleader to tease Angela.
Mr. James, we appreciate the way you feel. I've been aware of it before, and that's the reason that I pulled you in, because I know how you feel about your children. I know what a devoted father you are, and that's why I knew that you'd want to know all about this and what we're trying to do and exactly what's happened.
When you talk about children to molest Angela, some of children are cruel. They don't mean to be. They just are, and they don't understand. They're not sensitive. When you get a child who is sensitive, it's very hard for the others to realize it.
And especially one like Angela. She's aware of her handicap.
I know.
Some children throw it off like nothing. It doesn't mean a thing to them. To her it does, and she sometimes even thinks that he's making fun of her.
Even if he
Yes,
isn't?
Even if he isn't. It's very hard to explain. That's one of these things. So we have to, as teachers, we must, just as you as the father, we as teachers must realize that this is a child who is different from maybe the other 29 children in the classroom. We have to come down to that and treat her so.
Well, Mrs. Serpa has been doing very well with Angela. I think you must be aware of it.
Yes, I know.
And as Mrs. Feldman said, you have to be very gentle and tender with Angela. Well, Mrs. Serpa is a very gentle person.
Angela is an intelligent child, and she's doing very well in her schoolwork. She is having trouble with the other children. She does have trouble.
That's why I recommend
She doesn't have trouble with certain children. She gets along well with Brenda, who's in club. Brenda Hodges and Linda Hodges. She gets along well with them.
Oh, I'm glad because
She
they're
gets-
both in the club.
Johnny likes her. He even mentioned it one day, and I asked him, sometimes he fights with her. They'll fight, Johnny and Angela. And you know that Johnny likes Angela.
I know.
And he'll say, why? And I'll say, well, that's friendship.
Now, what I'm interested in is for Angela to get herself some friends.
And there are a lot of girls in the club who are also in her class.
That's very important. See, in the club atmosphere, the child can get up and go and do something else that she likes to do. You know what I mean? In the classroom, she has to do what the teacher wants her to do at the time that the teacher wants her to do it. In the club atmosphere, Angela can do things that she wants to do when she wants to do them, and the teacher's there to see that it's the right thing for her to do, to guide her, which is very important for Angela. Today I asked her, I said, well, Angela, if you come to our club, you can paint if you want to, you can make clay work if you want to. She said, well, they never signed a slip. I said, I want you to have your daddy sign a slip for you to come to club. Do you want to come? She said, yes, she wants to come.
Finally, she behaved herself more better.
Yes.
It is the best thing for her.
Yes.
We wholeheartedly wish her child, and I want her to take part.
See that? You hear what Daddy says?
It is much good for Angela.
Absolutely.
Occupy her time and take all her...
That's right, and it gives her a chance to make friends and to learn things to do that she likes to do.
You want to be in the
And
club,
good.
Angela, after school?
Now, Daddy's going to sign the paper for you.
Take your hand out.
See, he's going to sign, and then you
Shaking
can,
your head to
you
someone,
can become a member.
Nobody could understand why you mean by nodding. Yes or no?
Your daddy wants you to say a word.
Yes.
Yes.
Good. Well, thank you very much for coming, Mr. James. Is there anything else that anybody wanted to say?
No, I'm very happy to have her in club, though.
Yes.
That ain't fair. Man, that ain't fair. Who's talking about you?
Move in a straight line if you can. Brenda, leave this part open so the girls who are trying out this part will have plays. Girls, that's right, Irma. You know, girls, Linda won't be here on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday because she goes to the reading club. So we're going to need somebody who's going to replace her as a fairy godmother. Who would like to do that for those 3 days? Angela, why don't you try it today? Let's see what you can do. And Katie, Stephanie, Gordine, Vivian, Gloria, Nivea. Do you two girls want to be? No. Okay.
Cinderella, get my dress. Get my dress. Get my shoes. My dress. Hurry up. Don't get it. Just come in my store. Comb my hair. Come back and comb my hair. And I want this house. And I want this house to be clean when I do that. It's not too bad for you. I want this house clean. Goodbye. Have a good time.
Mama gonna get this book.
She will. She will.
Who's the fairy god?
I am your fairy godmother.
To begin to know each child as an individual, to see their personalities emerge, to see growth and learning in spite of all their problems. These are my delights as a teacher, and this is what I think teaching is really all about.
She sat down beside me. of me.